You're acting weirdly today. Is there something you want to tell me?
Yes. There's a problem that confused me for a long time. I don't know if I should tell my parents that I have a boyfriend.
Well, I think you can sit down and talk to them in a rational way.
Okay, then I'll try today.
Have you ever faced about problems? This is the topic we are going to talk about. So, let's move on to our presentation. Hi, my name is Kelly. This is Sherry, Laura, Vicky, and Jessica. We are honored to have the opportunity to share our research with you today. In today's presentation, we are going to talk about the study of teenagers and parents' opinion on high school students' relationship.
This is the overview of our study. Firstly, we will talk about why we want to work on this topic. Secondly, we will introduce the purposes of our study. Then, we'll talk about the research methods and we'll show you the results of our questionnaires. Last but not least, we'll make a conclusion regarding the best solution of communication problems. After graduating from high school, it is easier for us to be attracted to others than before. We are curious about getting in a relationship, and we often heard our friends chatting about going on a date.
So the original intention of our group is to examine how high school students talk about their relationship and whether they will express their deeper thoughts to their parents.
There are three main purposes of our study. First, we want to bridge up the generation gap between students and parents. Second, we will provide a proper solution to let both parents and students communicate in a rational way, which is acceptable for both of them. We also hope that through our research, high school students and their parents can employ a better communication methods to understand the opinions of both sides and reduce the friction between them while discussing topics related to teenagers' relationship.
To design our questionnaire, we read through some relevant studies.
Jinan University professor Pei-Ling Wang indicated in her 2017 research that regarding high school romance, parents and schools are not willing to discuss this matter. So some people encounter feelings of helplessness in the process of growing up.
On the other hand, a study conducted by Chongqing University shows that up to 70% of people support students getting romantically involved in high school relationships. So we can note that most of the people are in favor of high school relationships.
Based on the past studies, we made a questionnaire to survey teenagers and parents' opinion on high school students' relationship. We collected 250 surveys of survey. 200 of them were from high school students and 50 of them were from parents.
Let's take a look at our first chart. Our research shows that only 30% of high school students are currently in a relationship, while 70% are not, which means that having a relationship in high school is not common in Taiwan. For those who are in a relationship, up to 66% told their parent in person. We are surprised there are so many parents know about their kids' relationship status.
On the other hand, let's step into parents' shoes. The percentage of parents surveyed, knowing whether their kids are in a relationship or not, is about 19%. Those who don't know stand at 81%. So we can see the level of communication between high school students and parents.
But not every mom or dad agree with their children to start a relationship in high school. So in the charts, we can see that about 60% of the parents didn't clearly explain their stance, but say that they will observe for a while.
And about 33% of them strongly disagree with their children having a relationship in high school. On the other hand, only 5.6% of them totally agree, and the remaining 2% of them didn't show a clear position.
Our next question is to ask if parents agree with their children getting into a relationship during high school. About 42% of parents who agrees with it. However, there are about 58% of parents who disagree with it. Even though that there are more than half of the parents who disagree with their children getting into a relationship during high school, we still want to know if they think there are any benefits with it. Nearly 50% of the parents think that it can increase fun and release stress.
About 25% of the parents think that high school students can improve their intelligence and ability when they fall in love. Another 19% of the parents agree that they can accumulate the experience of early love to educate their children in the future.
As for high school students' opinions, there are more than 50% of them willing to fall in love because they think they can learn about gender relations in a relationship. About 24% think they can grow up in love, and almost 18% want to develop a different relationship. And the rest 6% have no comments.
Next, let's see why parents disagree with their children having a relationship in high school. Parents can choose more than one reason in this part. As you can see, 82% of them think their children may cross the line or even have improper behavior. And 33% of them think having a relationship in high school may have bad influence on children. Another 11% of them are worried about their children may spend too much money on dates.
According to this chart indicates that about 25% of children don't want to fall in love because they have no time. 23% of them worry that it will get into trouble, and 22% of them worry that it will do harm to the schoolwork.
Finally, let's move on to those students' reaction to parental disagreement. About 70% of them will try to persuade their parents, and about 40% of them will ignore their parents or give their parents silent treatment.
Based on all the questionnaire results, let's make a conclusion.
In line with what most people think, we found out that parents disagree with their children getting into a relationship because they are afraid that children may have inappropriate behavior or their academic performance may deteriorate. Different from what parents think, students don't want to be in a relationship because they don't think they have time to manage a relationship. Also, they're afraid of getting into trouble.
However, there is one thing that both sides share, that is, being in a relationship may have negative influence on schoolwork. Thus, due to their different opinions and common thoughts, we produce the following solution in order to help them communicate better.
Disputes usually start with misunderstanding. So, the most important thing is to express one's feelings clearly. Children and parents should sit down and talk about their thoughts.
Parents should be aware that they need to listen before giving advice, and students should learn not to interrupt their parents too. Moreover, if the students know what their parents are worried about, they should reassure their parents that they won't have improper behavior or even affect their homework when they are in a relationship.
Well, that's all from us today. It's been a great pleasure to share this with you.
Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so very interesting results. So could you please tell me a little bit about why you want to take into the perspective from teenagers and also parents, but not like teenagers and also from your school teachers? Why?
Like in school, the teacher won't get into this part if we don't cross the line, if we don't overreact with our I think this problem is more. Just give me a second. Like school teacher won't interrupt this too much because we're already like senior 3, but parents,
our relationship will impact our work or things.
Don't be nervous. I know how nervous you will be on the stage, okay? But you girls have done very well. I am just very interested about the genders part. Do you think that from boys' side and girls' side they treat these things in the same way, or from boys' parents or girls' parents? So I suggest that you can do that part in the next study. They'll be very, very interesting. I don't think that girls' parents will, treat their boyfriends like their son. Okay, so what do you think? If you are the parents, what do you think about this topic?
If I'm the parents and
If you are your mom.
oh yes.
If you are your mom and you have a boyfriend, and then you have a boyfriend right now, and you are your mom, and how will your mom treat these things?